Hello and welcome back to Around the Block. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to another episode where we've made a couple of transfers over the winter break transfer window because we did need to bolster our squad, particularly on the right hand side of the pitch. We were lacking in depth on that right hand side, so a couple of players coming in there to try and boost us a little bit, which would be quite nice. Also, if you're watching this as soon as the video has come out, you've seen it's come out at the slightly earlier time of 5 PM UK time, and that is because tonight is the start of Season 4 of the Streamer Showdown. Again, I'll be on it on the Streamer Showdown Lowdown, which is like the Sky Sports News sort of side of it. That's over on Viking Dan's channel on Twitch. I'll leave a description down in the link below. But we're doing this tonight, Friday, tomorrow, and Sunday as well, Saturday, Sunday. So 3 nights of the Streamer Showdown stuff, which is going to be very exciting. So if you can join us for all of that, that would be absolutely amazing. I'll leave links to everything down in the description as well. But I think we start at 6 PM, but I could be wrong on that. I need to double check this before I actually, I need to double check this. Write this down, Tom, because I don't want to be late. But because of this, all videos this weekend are going to be uploaded at 5 PM rather than the usual 8 PM sort of time, just so they don't clash with the Streamer Showdown. You can watch this and then come and join us on the Showdown Lowdown for all the action this evening. Right, first things first, we will talk about transfers first of all. Let's talk about transfers first of all. Transfer history. We have had a couple of players leave. There's a few players leaving that were just players that weren't going to get contracts. They were going to release at the end of the season, and clubs came in and said, can we just buy them? And they're like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. We have sold for £2.5 million, rising to £3.1 million though. Savo Raskovic, he came to me and said, I want to leave the club. And he's like, I was our 5th choice midfielder. So I was kind of like, well, I wanted to keep him, but I didn't want to upset him to then upset the entire squad balance, and then we don't get that invincible season. So I was very happy to just let him go. And we've got a decent bit of money for him. 2.6 rising to 3.1 million isn't too bad. He wanted to leave the club, aging a little bit as well. Wasn't getting any better and things like that. So it was always going to be the 5th choice centre-back, or a midfielder at the club, I should say. So he has gone. He's left the club completely. On the inside, we've had 4 players joining the club, although 3 of them are new, and 1 player actually, a 5th player, is to join at the end of the season because he's too young to join right now. But the first one you'll see for £5.5 million. He is signed now on a permanent deal. Goran Isakovic. He was about the only 4-star player that was sort of willing to sign for us. I had a quick look through the window to see if anyone was sort of interested. But this was the only sort of 4-star player who was interested in joining the club for a reasonable wage and fee. So for £5.5 million, we've got him in on a permanent deal. 22 years old, will get a little bit better as well. I think he's going to be a fantastic player for us because he's been fantastic for us so far this season, as you can see. A 7.5 on average rating so far across 14 games, which is very, very good. It says here we've paid £1.5 million in loan fees. That would have been the case if we had him for the whole season. I think because we've only had him for about a third of the time he's meant to be on loan, we've only paid about £600,000. So call this a £6 million fee in total for him, but I think that's definitely worth it, especially when you consider that actually I think Thor came in for, or Mark Hendrick came in for that. Thor came in for £4 million. So he's right on the money with the other transfers, and I think he's a really good player. But as I was saying though, I think down the right-hand side, we were lacking, I must say. We only have Milo, who's a right winger, really. He's like the only out-and-out right winger. And we do have a player joining us in August, it says right there, a right winger. He's only 17 years old, comes from Colombia, but has got 4.5-star potential, 2-star current ability. We only need him as a backup player for now because Milo's going to be there. But at 17 years old, he'll develop very nicely and be really, really good. He'll be good by the time we leave the club. We won't be here to see him, I don't think, develop, but he'll be there for the future of the club, which would be absolutely fantastic. So a good backup player and one for the future for the team. So he'll be coming in very shortly. But for £1 million, we're also lacking at right back as well. We only had one out-and-out right back in Stefan, so we had to get someone else in, and Sani Jr. has come in for £1 million. 1.5-star current ability, but again, 17 years old, 4-star potential, is going to get an awful lot better very quickly at 17 years old. And again, only needs to be back up right now. When Stefan starts to decline, this guy will be more than ready to step up and go into the first team. And if he's not ready, well, I'll tell you who is going to be ready. This guy, Mataj Zupan, he will be ready. He's got, it's only 3-star there, potential ability. It was 4-star earlier on, but again, 1.5-star current ability will get a little bit better, can play on both sides, so he's quite versatile as a backup player for us. And again, will develop nicely, so I'm looking forward to see how he performs as well. So 2 right backs coming in. This guy we brought in from Maribor, Matej Zupan. He's gone out on loan just to have a season or half a season on loan to develop a little bit more. Because the attacking midfielder on the right isn't coming in until August, we've had to get in a chap on loan, and this guy comes in from Vojvodina, more of a striker, but again, 2-star current ability, 2.5-star potential. We're not going to sign or anything like that, but again, we just need someone as backup for us. And Milo on that right-hand side is 3-star, so a 2-star guy will be absolutely fine for what we're in right now. And particularly as we enter the later stages of the Europa League, we do need a bit more quality and a bit more depth of a squad in order to come and deal with those games thick and fast and things like that. We need to have giving players like Milo and giving players like Stefan a bit of a rest. So that's all the transfers done and dusted for this season. £20 million spent, which is the most out of any Partizan manager ever, actually. And by looks of things, there's only been this is only the third season we've actually spent more than what we've sold in players. And usually it's been very, very close. This time it is miles and miles apart, isn't it, in terms of what we spent to what we brought into the club. But we didn't need to sell anyone because the squad was already too small, but we had to bring in a few players to bolster and positions and stuff like that. So I think it's justified. Anyway, now our transfers are out the way, it's time to get on to the fixtures since you were last here, and there have been a lot of them, I must say. Since our 4-0 and 2-1 win over Spartak and Vojvodina last time, we have played plenty of games, and we've actually lost one. We started off with a big 4-0 against Makva in the league. In fact, you can see we've won all our league games. There's no point really going through it because we've won them all. Loads of goals from people like Thaddeus Agarlo and things like that, which is great to see. We did lose 3-2 to Stade Rennais, though, in the Europa League group stage, which is a bit of a shock, that one. The first loss we'd had for a long, long time. As you can see, we dominated the game, but they just got very lucky with their shots, I suppose, and we just couldn't quite reply. It was rather frustrating, that game, and that's the only sort of frustrating game like this we've had all season. So obviously we've lost there in the Europa League that game. We obviously lost in the Champions League a bit earlier on the season. But in terms of the actual league table, we are still looking for an invincible season after 3-2 wins over Kukuriki, 4-1 against Vojvodina, 2-1 against Zlatibor. We had a 2-1 win against Sporting to finish off the Europa League, 2-0 against Rad, 4-0 against Mlados, and then all of these friendlies. We lost the last one to Slavia Prague, but again, I don't manage the friendlies. Shitty Gel does that, and Shitty Gel did a fantastic job beating his former team of Martin 3-0. You love to see it. Today, though, we are going to try and remain invincible, keep going with our league form, and get big wins over Proleta and Radniki at the start of the second half of the season after the winter break. And because everyone is pretty rested and looking pretty fresh, you can already predict the starting lineup for this game. Alimi in goal with backline of Buncevic, Hammerberger, Hendrik and Stefan. Filip Asimovic and the new full signing Iskivic start in the midfield. Jezovic, Nikolic, Milo in the middle, and Thaddeus Agarlo up front. We do have the new chaps who are in the club right now. They're on the bench. We might bring them on later in the game if we're doing quite well to give them their debuts and stuff like that. Hopefully we'll get to see a nice bit of Junior, Sani Junior. I hope he's going to be a good player for us, and I think it's going to be nice to have giving Stefan a rest for someone who's actually quite capable of playing at right back. Because I'm always pretty nervous putting someone else in at right back because no one's actually a comfortable, competent right back. They're all centre backs that can just kind of play at right back. So now we've got a proper right back in the squad. I'm quite looking forward to it. Right, kickoff is upon us, and inside of 23 seconds, we've already won a free kick, which hopefully we're going to get a goal from to start this second half of the season. As Jezovic into Thaddeus Agarlo. There we go, goal. You love to see it. We are the Invincibles. We literally are the Invincibles, aren't we? I forgot to show you the league table, but we're nearly 20 points clear of Spartak, who are in second place right now. 19 points clear should we win this game. I mean, the league has been a bit of a joke this season in terms of it's just been far too easy and simple for us. And here comes another one. You love to see it. Milo this time getting himself on the score sheet. Fantastic stuff. This will make 27 league games without defeat. It's at the bottom of the screen right there, which is incredible, isn't it, really? Which doesn't make sense. How many league games have we played? I thought it said 29. Let's skip this now that we've seen the goal. How many games have we played? Oh, only 22. So we had 5 games from last season unbeaten. Going into this season, it's now up to 27 when we go and win this game. Quite a few of you last time, though, in the comment section did say you've had invincible seasons before, and a few of them at that and things like that. So for me, who's never had an invincible season, as far as I can remember ever having an invincible season, I've come close but never actually done it. I am really hyped up for this. I know for you guys, this might be ridiculously boring because we are just getting a penalty and winning games left, right and centre. And that's not the most entertaining thing for you guys to watch. But for me, I'm loving it because we keep winning games and I might actually get an invincible season. I've never ever done that before and I'm really excited. But because it is getting pretty easy at Partizan, I am pretty keen to move on after this season finishes. The thing is though, next season we'll have a really good chance of Champions League football. If a team comes up over summer that has Champions League football, I think we might try and jump to that rather than stay with Partizan, just because the league is so easy. And I mean, European football is what we're here for. This is kind of what we're here for, but European football isn't going to come in every single episode because there's just, you know, like this instance, between the last group stage game and to the first or the second knockout round game that we are playing, the second knockout round, there's months in between that, and I don't want to like skip so many months like that. This season, I feel like it is interesting because we could be the Partizan Invincibles. Like that is completely on the cards, and I'm really looking forward to it. Next season, if we go this season Invincible, next season, like there's nothing new for us there. Like, oh, we won a game again as Partizan. That gets a bit boring then. So I do think we need to move on pretty quickly after this season finishes. Even if we do end up losing one game, we don't become invincible, I still think we need to move on because, I mean, we've shown that we are dominant here in Serbia. We need to move on. And again, another goal there, the 6th of the season for Isakovic. You love to see it. A good cross into the middle there from Thaddeus Agalo. No, he gets back to Djezjevic, doesn't he? Oh, no, he doesn't. He put the cross... Who knows what I was thinking, but he gets to Djezjevic. Isakovic scores. You love to see it. 4-0. So given that we are winning 4-0, it's time to bring on the new chaps. Sani Jr., have your debut, and we'll take Milo off as well for Raid Nikolic, who's come on loan from Vojvodina. And here he is on the ball right now. Sani Jr. puts a cross in the middle. Oh, it's cleared, and it goes in the back of a net. What a superb cross that was from Sani Jr., making his mark. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite get the assist because the ball bounced around the area, but Thaddeus Agalo picks up his 26th goal of the season already. You also may have seen on Twitter as well, if you were eagle-eyed, Thaddeus Agalo came second in African Player of the Year. He was beaten by... It was someone quite recognisable. I can't remember the name now, but he did come second in that. Who I can't remember. You have to look at my Twitter. Look at my Twitter. Go on media. Scroll down. You'll see the tweet. He got beaten by someone, but came second in African Player of the Year at 19 years old. It's pretty mental. I think. Imagine him and Zoltan Horvath as a strike force. That would be... We need to try and make that happen at some point. We need to try and get him and Zoltan Horvath up front as Raid Nikolic gets his first goal for the club on his debut. You love to see it. 6-0. Serbia's too easy. Serbia is far too easy. We need to move on after this season finishes just to have a bit more of a challenge and make it a bit more interesting for you guys. I mean, at this stage, we're 19 points clear at the top of the table. We're winning the title. Looks like we're going to go invincible. You love to see it. Unless you hate it when I win games all the time, then you hate to see it. Fantastic stuff, though. Already guaranteed a playoff place as well, by the way, because we're already we can't finish any lower than 8th, apparently. So that's pretty mental, too. Vojvodina are suddenly getting their act together. They're finally in the top half of the table. Red Star, still a bit inconsistent, so it doesn't look like they're going to get themselves into second place anytime soon. It looks like it's more of a battle for Spartak and Kukuriki, which is pretty interesting. A quick look at the rules, though. If you look at the Group A, we've got... See, no direct qualification to the Champions League group stage yet. So again, it's still not that... There's not that much incentive to stay in Serbia. But obviously, the clubs that I'm looking at, the clubs that I really want to go to, like we said last time, Dinamo, Sparta Prague, Slavia Prague, Victoria Pleasant, Hajduk Split, their managers aren't getting sacked anytime soon. I know I am massively limiting myself when I'm just selecting Croatia and Czech Republic. There are other leagues you can go to, and if jobs come up in those divisions, I'm happy to go to them. But this is what I really want. Sparta Prague, history, managers. The guy's been there for nearly 9 years now, which is a bit mental. I doubt he'll be getting sacked anytime soon. Slavia Prague, manager history. He's been there 4 years, nearly 5 years. So these jobs don't come round often. So we've got to be prepared and got to be like switched on for it when they are available. Apparently that 6-0 win was the biggest in Partizan's history. I assume that's like the history since the game has been loaded up and started for the past 10 years or so, because the biggest win was in 2023, a 5-0. Partizan must have won games more than 5-0 in their history at some point. Also, I just very quickly skipped over that, but Chinese clubs have been going mental for Milo and the our midfielder, Asimovic. They've been going mental for them, like trying to sign them for like 10, 12 million pounds. And I keep rejecting them, but there's a point where I'm thinking maybe we do accept one of these big bids for... I completely forgot about it until it just came through to remind me about it, which is quite bad. I should have spoken about this right at the start of the episode. But we have had some big bids come in for 2 of our players, and I keep rejecting them because we're not going to be able to get better players in than these guys. They are like the best available to us right now. But when these bids are starting to hit 15 million, 10 million, you think maybe we should accept them. So look, they're back in again, wanting to sign Milo for £10 million. And we must have another one in here. Maybe not. Outs. There must be some big bids. Yeah, Asimovic here. £16 million they're offering this team. HB China Fortune offering 16 million for Asimovic. It's mental. But we need this invincible season, so I'm not prepared to let them go in the middle of the season. Maybe if we stay on for another season, I'd let them go and we bring someone else in, but not this season. Players look pretty fine for this game. No one looked particularly tired. So again, we're going to keep the line at the exact same for this game against Radniki and hopefully get another 6-0 win. So kickoff is upon us once again. Another one of these really long pitches here in Serbia. Lots of them around. We have to minimise everything as we've won another penalty again. It's just another game, another win. I'm not even worried going to games. Usually I have a bit of concern about me, but this season, all I'm thinking about is how big is the win going to be? That's all I think about going to games now. It's not like, oh, are we going to lose this one? It's how big is the win going to be? So up steps Nikolic for the penalty, and he's just about scored it, to be fair. Just about scored it, put it past the goalkeeper there. His 10th of the season. I think 5 of those must be penalties or something like that at least, because we've had quite a few penalties this season. That's, agonisingly close for the keeper, but a good penalty for us. Harej Buncevic has been put forward, and it's a good save. It's a good goal in the end there. Harej has got himself a goal. 3rd of the season for him. He was very far up the pitch when this happened. Hammerberg was playing basically the wing back, and somehow Harej was the furthest player forward. Ball comes to him, first shot saved, second shot nicely done in the back of the net. Well done, Harry. So half time, 2-0 to us. Actually no highlights other than the goals, which is a bit interesting, I must say. But again, I don't really feel the need to talk over a lot of this game. I spoke a lot of the last game about how I feel about this season, where it's going, and what we need to be doing next. I feel like I've made myself clear that I want to be leaving Partizan soon, but I want to get this invincible season. But at the same time, I don't want this to be boring for you guys just watching us win. I want to go somewhere, again, a top team where we are competing European football, but a division where there are actually quite a few good teams, like Croatia or the Czech Republic. Like, there are 3 or 4 teams that are fighting for the title every season, rather than at the moment it's just Partizan. Partizan have won this division for the last 5 seasons, and now this might be the 6th season they're going to win it in a row. Other divisions like the Croatia, the Czech leagues, they're completely different, where a different team wins every year. So I do want to go to one of those leagues where there's a bit more competition. But a 2-0 win for us there. Again, extending our lead at the top of the table. We're going to be announced as champions soon, I reckon, aren't we? Do you think, in fact, that might be that if these teams below us keep losing games, so now we're 20 points clear of Kukuriki below us. Okay. How many games is that? 6, 9, 12... 15, 18, 20. Well, 6 wins is 18 points, isn't it? So if we get to 21, that's then 7 games. So if we can get to 24 points ahead before the league splits in half, we'll have won the league title before the league splits in half. So actually, we genuinely could win the league title by next episode, I think. Next episode, we'll come back and we'll play these 2 Europa League second knockout round games. But if it looks like we're going to win the league title, and maybe against Proletar, we'll do that next episode. Oh my God, this is mental. Have you ever won a season that early before, potentially? Have you ever had that kind of points gap? So I can't believe it. Hopefully we do it. That would be amazing. Either way, thank you ever so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And of course, links down in the description to Viking Dan's Twitch channel to come and watch us on the Streamer Showdown Lowdown across the weekend. We'll see you there. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.